tires are for use in emergencies only, and we'll have to have approval from ARCA officials if those tires are to be used here this evening. Yeah, they'll have to have a flat spot or a flat tire due to some incident on the racetrack if those tires do come into play here tonight. 2 to go this time by, so just a couple of more laps to go. Why don't we take a look at the starting lineup while we have a chance. Sean Hingorani picking up the General Tire Pole Award earlier today. He's coming in with, had a 5-point lead in the standings, now 6 with that bonus point. He will start alongside, how about that, Rip Michaels in the 71. Great qualifying run for that team. Cole Raz, Buddy Shepard, great qualifying run for him in the 17. Tyler Reif, going to have some work to do if he wants to close in on Sean Hingorani. He's alongside Jack Wood there in row 3. Jaron Giannini, Spencer Davis. There's Trevor Huddleston. He's finished second here by just inches in the spring. He's alongside Brent Cruz, a little farther back than we expected to see that young man. Kyle Keller and Henry Barton. Henry will have to drop to the tail of the field here at the start for unapproved adjustments. Todd Souza and Eric Nascimento Jr. Look at Isabella Robusto all the way back in 15th on the grid. Expect to see her work her way to the front. Eric Johnson Jr., tonight's Bonnie Rookie Spotlight driver. We'll check in on him here in just a few moments. Ethan Nascimento, Takuma Koga, Joey Keneally, and David Smith round out the 20 drivers that will go to battle here for 150 laps. Light's still out on the pace car, so I'm going to be able to catch my breath here for just a moment. Do appreciate you joining us on what has been a very busy day all across stock car racing. We did see the NASCAR Craftsman Trucks, Grant Enfinger picking up the win. Austin Hill winning the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Homestead Miami Speedway earlier today. Congratulations going out to Justin Bonsignor. You saw that one live right here on FloRacing. Justin picking up the NASCAR Whelen Modified victory and the championship. What a way to do that, locking up the championship by going to victory lane at Martinsville Speedway earlier today. And we'll see if this guy, Sean Hingorani, can hold on to the point lead here in the ARCA Menard Series West. There's Eric Johnson Jr., our Bonnie Rookie Spotlight driver. Been a good season for Eric so far. He's had 5 top 10 finishes, including a career best 4th a couple of weeks ago at Madera Speedway. He's already locked up the Bonnie Rookie Challenge Rookie of the Year award. Has scored enough points to lock that up, but we will keep an eye on Eric Johnson Jr. throughout the course of tonight's race in tonight's Bonnie Rookie Spotlight. Mark Wendell bringing the pace car down to the infield. Sean Hingorani, Rip Michaels bringing the field through turns 3 and 4. Joe Contreras looking him over on the flag stand. You know what time it is, folks. It is time to rock, roll, and rumble here at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. And not a great start there for Rip Michaels in the 71. He's going to give up a couple of positions and scramble the field up behind him as Hingorani gets out to a big lead here at the start. So now Rip Michaels facing some pressure. Buddy Shepard in the 17. Ooh, Jaron Giannini a little sideways there in the 23 off of turn 2. He's going to give up some ground. And here comes Buddy Shepard and Bruce Cook's number 17. Good qualifying run for Buddy Shepard, and he is looking strong here in the early going. Are we going to stack him 3 wide? Not quite. But Jack Wood with a great run off of turn 2. He's going to look to the inside of Rip Michaels. Rip way up the racetrack there. That 71 car did not get going, and it is not handling very well here in the early going. Already Rip Michaels back to 8th. Actually, he's already back to 10th. And facing some pressure, about to drop out of the top 10. Cole Raz in the number 5, side by side with Tyler Reif there in the 13. There's Buddy Shepard in the 17. Don't forget Cole Raz picked up a thrilling victory here in the spring. Did a little beating and banging with Trevor Huddleston on the final lap. Nosed him out by just inches at the start-finish line. to pick up his first career ARCA Menard Series West victory. Right now, Colt looking solid in that number 5. Did give up that position to Tyler Reif. Reif all the way up to second. We said he's going to have some work to do if he wanted to stay in contact with Sean Hingorani in that battle for the ARCA Menard Series West Championship, and Reif doing just that here in the early going, all the way up to second. As we see the battle on now for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Look at this. We are going to stack them 3 wide. Trevor Huddleston to the bottom. Cole Raz to the middle. Jack Wood, he might have had some contact there with that left front corner. Boy, these guys racing hard here in the early going. Just 8 laps in the books, and we're already battling 3 wide. Trevor Huddleston started way out back today, towards the back of the top 10, and he has already worked his way up into 4th. An aggressive move right there to knock off a couple of positions in one pass. Jack Wood in the number 16, he's going to work his way to the past Cole Raz there in the number 5. There's the gap up front. Sean Hingorani over Tyler Reif. Boy, very hectic early stages here at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. Look at that, the brakes already glowing bright orange on that number 20 car for Brent Cruz. Brent picked up a win with the ARCA Menard Series on the dirt at the DuQuoin State Fairgrounds. Brent's a former Trans Am TA2 Division National Champion. He's been very competitive each and every time he has competed in the ARCA Menard Series platform, and expect to see him moving a little bit closer to the front throughout the course of tonight's race. As we check in on the leader, there's Sean Hingorani. That gap up front has stabilized here in recent laps. Right now that gap sitting at about 1 1/4 seconds at the front of the field. There's Eric Johnson Jr. Todd Souza in the number 3 this week. Todd sat out the last race for Kyle Keller, who took over the ride in that number 3. Kyle actually in that number 9 car to the inside. The second Jan's Towing entry for team owner Jan Falkenbush. Kyle going to push that car to the inside of Todd Souza. He's going to take over that position. 14th and 15th on the racetrack. All right, let's check that gap at the front of the field. It was 1 1/4 seconds. And now it's just a little less than that. About 0.03 of a second difference, but we did look like Tyler Reif starting to visually close that gap just a little bit. Look at this battle for position. Jack Wood to the inside of Buddy Shepard. The battle for 4th and 5th. And Jack Wood in that number 16 car, very hungry for victory. One of the preseason favorites to battle for the championship, and it has been a tough season for Jack Wood. It has been involved in some on-track activities not of his making that has really put a damper on his run to the championship. We thought we would have seen him in victory lane a time or two by this point, and tonight could be the night. That 16 car looks like it is handling exceptionally well. As now the battle on for 5th. Here comes Brent Cruz to the inside of Buddy Shepard. So Brent Cruz, who qualified 10th, now has raced his way up into the top 5. So we've seen some movers here in the early going, some going forward, some unfortunately going backward. As we now have 20 laps in the books, Sean Hingorani continuing to show the way. This is continues to be the best battle for position on the racetrack. Buddy Shepard now trying to hold on to the 6th position as Cole Raz looking to the inside. We did talk about it in our abbreviated pre-race show. We will have a break at or around lap 75. But these teams do have to manage these tires effectively. They're only going to be able to change 2 tires, and we do expect all of the teams to change right side tires at the break. But you know, it is a long way. 75 laps is a long way here. You do have to take care of those left side tires to get them to go the entire 150 lap distance. So I think it's likely we will see some drivers pace themselves just a little bit here, maybe in the first half of tonight's 150 lapper. Todd Souza battling with Ethan Nascimento in the number 21. Ethan had a pretty good run a couple of weekends ago up at Madera Speedway. Career best 3rd place finish for that young man. And there's the other half of the Nascimento brother act. Eric Nascimento Jr. to the inside of Spencer Davis in the 42. Battle on for 9th and 10th, and look at that. There's Isabella Robusto in the number 55. Last time we saw Isabella here on the West Coast, she dominated at Irwindale Speedway back on July 6th, led most of the second half of that race. Had a right front tire cut down with 29 laps remaining and bounced off the outside wall. If not for that tire going down on her, she likely would have ended up in victory lane. And very surprising to see Isabella way outside the top 10 in qualifying, but she has knifed her way through the field, already cracking up into the top 10. Jaron Giannini working his way past Buddy Shepard there in the number 17. Shepard giving up a handful of positions here over the course of the last several laps. He now has fallen back into 8th. Was up as high as 4th about 10 laps ago. Could be some underlying issues there for the number 17. Look at this. Trevor Huddleston has worked his way past Tyler Reif. Huddleston could be a sleeper for the championship. He has gone to victory lane in each of the last 2 races and is looking solid here tonight. He started at the back of the top 10 and has worked his way all the way up to 2nd and is now within 2 seconds of this guy, Sean Hingorani. Hingorani has led every lap so far, but right now Trevor Huddleston on the hunt. And Huddleston came so close to victory here back in the spring, losing out to Cole Raz by inches on that final lap. And it's been a great summer stretch for Trevor Huddleston. Of course, got engaged in victory lane a couple of races back at Madera Speedway, and then led every lap from the pole last time out. Look at this battle. Brent Cruz starting to put some pressure on Jack Wood in the 16. Brent, of course, one of 3 Venerini Motorsports drivers in the race. Jack Wood driving for Bill McAnally Racing in that iconic number 16. That car, the winningest car in the history of the West Series. Of course, Venerini Motorsports, the winningest team in the history of the ARCA Menard Series. So these 2 teams with very long histories and very long records of success going at it. Hammer and tong here at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. And right now, Jack Wood going to get the better of that battle. As they try to work their way past Todd Souza. And Souza, it doesn't matter if Souza is on the lead lap or not, he is very difficult to pass, whether it's a battle for position or not. He is out there to race. He does not give any quarter. He does not ask for any quarter, but he certainly doesn't give any quarter on the racetrack. We thought we saw a little contact there between Brent Cruz and Jack Wood off of turn 2 last time. Let's see what happens here as we race off into turn 3. Look at those brake rotors glowing bright orange on the number 20. And it looks like Wood going to get pinned behind Todd Souza. Can he find some racing room to the outside? No, he can't. He's going to give that spot up to Brent Cruz and maybe another spot to Cole Raz. And that could be a Reese's Sweet move of the race candidate right there for Brent Cruz, using Todd Souza as a pick to take over that 4th position. Don't forget, you can log on to ARCARacing.com Monday, 3 o'clock Eastern time, to see who is crowned Reese's Sweet move of the race for tonight's race here at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. 40 laps in the books. Sean Hingorani closing in on Spencer Davis to put him 1 lap down. Spencer sitting back in the 14th position. First ARCA Menards West start for Spencer since 2013 at Phoenix Raceway. Teaming up with Bruce Cook and Steve McGowan to come out here and run this race. He gets a little reprieve. No, he's going to get off the gas. Thought he was going to be able to use the 05 car of David Smith as a pick to keep himself on the lead lap, but Spencer wisely rolled onto the throttle there and gave that position up. Trevor Huddleston in number 50. There's the gap he has on Tyler Reif. Trevor Huddleston trying to keep this championship battle interesting. And if he stays in contact, anything can happen at Phoenix. We always see one of the biggest entry lists of the season in the finale at Phoenix Raceway. And anything can happen in that finale. Let's see what Huddleston can do. He came into tonight 24 points back of Sean Hingorani. Hingorani picked up the bonus point for the pole and a bonus point for leading. So he has stretched that point lead out to 7 points as they run over Tyler Reif. 26 points over Huddleston. That does not include the points differences for the positions. Those are just points that he has actually scored so far here tonight. You remember the late Bob Jenkins, voice of NASCAR racing on ESPN for many years. Bob famously was not a mathematician, and Charlie is famously even less of a mathematician than Bob Jenkins was. So we'll let other experts do the math as they run. I certainly can do the add one from time to time, as Hingorani has done so far tonight. But as it stands, 7 points over Tyler Reif and 26 over Trevor Huddleston. Huddleston does need, if he were to win tonight, he would close that gap. Wouldn't say considerably, but he'd take a pretty decent chunk out of that points lead and certainly would make it interesting headed into Phoenix. There is Sean Hingorani to the inside of Buddy Shepard. Shepard in the 17 has certainly fallen off the pace here, certainly the pace that he was running early in the race. He is going to fall off the lead lap. Kyle Keller in the 9 car also falling a lap down to leader Sean Hingorani. And now our Bounty Rookie Spotlight driver, Eric Johnson Jr. in the number 19, about to go a lap down. That means Hingorani has lapped his way all the way up into the top 10. Eric Johnson Jr. sitting 11th on the leaderboard, so only the top 10 cars currently on the lead lap, and we are just past the 1/3 mark. So 50, now 52 laps in the books. And Hingorani has put half the field a lap down. There's Kyle Keller in the number 9. He has bounced around a couple of rides here the last few weeks, trying to keep that top 5 status in the ARCA Menards West driver standings. Came into tonight 5th in driver points. A pretty healthy lead over Eric Johnson Jr., the 2 drivers that were battling on the racetrack. So one more race to go, and maybe Kyle Keller can indeed pull off a top 5 in the final driver standings. It's Henry Barton in the number 6. Henry had to drop to the tail of the field for the start. Racing with his teammate there, Takuma Koga in the number 7. Takuma sitting back in the 19th position, while Henry Barton sitting 16th. Sean Hingorani, it's like he's in the drive-thru at Burger King. He is having it his way here tonight. Driving away from Trevor Huddleston, stretching out that advantage. Let's take a look at the gap between first and second. Now 3.5 seconds over Trevor Huddleston there in the number 50. We do have that midway break coming up at or near lap 75, so just about 17 laps from now. Maybe these teams can make an adjustment, put themselves a little closer to that 15 car, keep him in the same zip code, because right now Hingorani has driven away from Trevor Huddleston, Tyler Reif, and Brent Cruz in that number 20. Brent's going to be looking for that midway break. That car, that number 20 car, looking very stout here throughout the first half of this Napa Auto Parts 150. Of course, Hingorani in one of the Venerini Motorsports cars. Brent Cruz in the number 20, the second of the Venerini cars. There's Jaron Giannini in the 23, Eric Nascimento Jr. in the number 4, Isabella Robusto. Those cars all battling for position as they try to wind their way through some of this traffic. Henry Barton in the number 6, Ethan Nascimento in the 21. Those 2 cars not on the lead lap. So quickly approaching the midway break. Clean and green so far through the Napa Auto Parts 150. Giannini looking to the inside of Ethan Nascimento there. Ooh, David Smith in the 05, trying to keep that car as far to the bottom of the racetrack as he could get it. And indeed, he does stay out of the way there as Giannini trying to work his way past Ethan Nascimento. It's a Nascimento sandwich there. Ethan, the younger brother, to the front. Eric Nascimento behind. And they're going to start feeling some heat as we see the caution lights flicker on for the first time here tonight. And there's why. Kyle Keller in the number 9. You see some sparks. Looks like he may have gotten up into the outside wall and done some damage to that number 9 car. Certainly, the right front tire has gone down. as he brings that car down to the pits. And that does put us under the caution for the first time here tonight. And with that flat tire, they're going to jack the rear of the car up so they can get the jack under the right side. Don't see a lot of damage, so he may not have gotten up into the outside wall, but certainly that right front tire had gone down, forcing our first caution flag of the night. There's Jake Jacobs, ARCA official down there, overseeing activity down in the number 9 pit. Kyle was